Let's get down to question number 4. The government is planning to increase its spending. That means government consumption expenditure is going to go up. What will happen is your aggregate demand will go up and price and real output level will increase in the short run. So this is the short run situation. The money will be spent on research and development. That means is going to increase your LRAS because the production capacity can now be raised. As well as national defense. This one is hard to tell. Will it increase LRAS? Well, it's a matter of, we can debate over it. On the other hand, in order to reduce the budget deficit, the government plans to increase the salary tax rate. Now, the effect is pretty straightforward. You increase the salary tax rate, disposable income is going to drop, and this will affect private consumption expenditure. And only private consumption expenditure. Don't say that investment is going to drop. A drop in YD will never increase your or will never affect your investment expenditure. So here you have a drop in aggregate demand, and in this case, your price level and real output is going to drop. All right, so we have no idea what the question is asking. Let's go ahead and check this out. So the question said, how would each of the above policies affect the output level and the price level in the short run? Well, I have jotted down all these notes here, right? Part B, do you support the above policy? Why? This one is pretty interesting. Now, there's no right or wrong or definite answer to a question like this. Do you support the policy? Well, you spend money on research and development, but that is indeed always a good thing because it will increase the production capacity of the economy, your LRAS here, and your full employment output level will definitely go up. All right, but on the other end, say you have an increase in salary tax rate. Now, the increase in salary tax rate may help to finance the expenditure you spend on research and development and national defense. And at the same time, say it may help, say it's stated here, it may also help to reduce, not cure, reduce the budget deficit. Well, in that sense, you will say, oh, okay, I will support this policy, all right? Now, but on the other hand, well, you can say that this is kind of a stupid policy because it is contradictory. So on one hand, you see you are increasing aggregate demand, but on the other hand, you are decreasing aggregate demand at the same time. So you have no idea which one will go a little bit further, right? So that's why I said it's contradictory. Okay, you can say that, oh, okay, the effects may cancel each other out. Well, you have the explanation here. You use this two explanation, right? And you may also cause some kind of unwanted result because you increase the salary tax. You will lead it may lead to a drop in working incentive. Your SRAS may drop because people just don't want to work that hard. Well, why pay additional salary tax to you? That kind of thing. So this one is not exactly a right or wrong question. All right. So you can see how well you express it. Number 5, economy A is in recession, and therefore you have a deflationary gap. Your Y1 is smaller than your YF. The government wants to stimulate the economy by adopting expansionary monetary policy. Expansionary monetary policy, that means you are going to increase, or the government is going to increase the money supply. It didn't say how. And with an increase in money supply, your interest rate is going to drop. The cost of borrowing drop. That will lead to a drop, an increase in both consumption, private consumption expenditure, and gross investment, shifting the AD curve to the right. All right, suggest two examples of expansionary monetary policy. Well, you have four, right? First one, you have a drop in required reserved ratio. Okay, a drop in required reserve ratio. Well, banks can lend out more of the excess reserve. Now, note, it only gives you 2 marks, so they're looking for the terms rather than a complete explanation. Second one, the open market operation, buying of government bonds by the central bank. Number 3, you can use, printing more money. And number 4, of course, you lower the discount rate. Now, B, if A of a diagram explain how an expansionary monetary policy helps the economy attain full employment output level. Now, the question states clearly there's a recession and there's a deflationary gap. You start off with a short-run equilibrium. Now, do I have? Yes. Now, the trick is always draw the short-run curves first. So here I have this SRAS and AD0 intersecting at point E, say as a beginning. Now, if you say check the question, it gives 8 marks, and therefore, well, in today DSE probably will give you just 6 marks or so. Now, but it doesn't matter. So what do you need to do? You need to put down, say, the short-run equilibrium point is here. What is going to happen? You have a deflationary gap. And this expansionary monetary policy increases the money supply. So you have an increase in CNI leading to a rightward shift of the AD curve to AD1. All right, reaching the long-run equilibrium E1 and full employment output level YF. Now, you can imagine if this is 8 marks, that means a maximum of 3 marks for the diagram, and all this text explanation gives you 5 marks. You write anything less, well, you get 1 mark less. It is that simple and direct. Number 6, the economy initially operates at full employment equilibrium. Suppose the central bank raises the discount rate. Now, the discount rate raises, that means commercial banks will borrow less money from the central bank because the cost of borrowing has increased. Okay, A, explain if the rise in discount rate will affect the monetary base of the economy. Now, it only gives you 3 marks. It's, I would say I'll give you 4 marks. Now, number 1, you define what monetary base is. Monetary base refers to CC plus reserve, bank's reserve. Well, you increase the discount rate, the cost of borrowing from the central bank is going to go up. So commercial banks will borrow less from the central bank and they will have less reserve. And at the end, your MO is going to drop. Okay. Part B, how will the rise in discount rate affect the price level and the aggregate output, price level, aggregate output in the long run? Now, in the long run, that means I need not draw the SRAS curve because they're just interested in the long run scenario. So I have the LRAS here. Now, once again, you have an increase in discount rate, your money supply drops, interest rate is going to go up, and therefore consumption, expenditure, and gross investment is going to drop, making your AD curve shifting to the left. Well, in the long run, you still have your YF constant right there, but your general price level will decrease from P0 to P1. And that's it. Well, also 8 marks. So once again, 3 marks for the diagram, and this whole bunch of things is going to give you 5 marks. All right, so be very careful about this one. Don't miss anything here. You miss 1 point, you lose 1 mark. And well, frankly speaking, this is quite terrible. Number 7, well, let's finish this one and then we take another break. Table shows the balance sheet of banking system. Suppose the banks do not know excess reserve, so we can write here, calculate the required reserve ratio and the multiplier. Right, the required reserve ratio is 0.25 and multiplier will be 4. Okay, suppose the central banks adjust the reserve ratio to 20%. That means it lowers the required reserve ratio. Whether the adjustment is an expansionary or a contractionary monetary policy. Now, what you need to do is you do the calculation, the original our required reserve ratio is 25%. Now it becomes, it lowers, the government lowers it to 20%. That means the money supply is going to increase. The money supply is going to increase, and therefore this is an expansionary monetary policy. Part B, with the aid of a diagram, explain how adjustment of this ratio will affect the price level and the output level in the short run. Now, in the short run, that means I don't need to put down the LRAS. They're not interested. Okay, I don't think I draw the diagram, right? Okay, well, simple thing, similar. Now, since you don't have the LRAS, and therefore you don't need to cater for where there's an inflationary gap or deflationary gap, doesn't matter. There's no, because you don't have the LRAS as reference. Now, with a drop in R, once again, same story. With a drop in R, well, we have an increase in money supply. Interest rate is going to go up, making people do more private consumption, expenditure, and gross investment. And the AD curve will be pushed to the right to 81. In the short run, both price and output level will be pushed up. Okay, so let's take another break here.